Thailand and Vietnam were once the unbeatable twin pillars of Southeast Asian travel, drawing millions with their beaches, food, prices, and warm hospitality. But in 2025, something has changed on both sides, and travelers are beginning to notice the cracks beneath paradise. Thailand's beaches, once packed shoulder to shoulder with sunseekers, now stretch out in unsettling silence. You walk through Phuket or Krabi and feel an emptiness that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. Vietnam mirrors this same stillness from Da Nang to Phu Quoc. Resorts that once operated at full capacity now welcome only a trickle of guests through wide, quiet lobbies. In Thailand, the downturn began subtly but grew louder as rising prices pushed Western travelers elsewhere. Hotel rates climbed, taxis became pricier, and even street food, once the ultimate bargain, felt less affordable. Vietnam followed a similar path, though for different reasons. A rapid rise in development outpaced demand, creating a tourism landscape that looks modern but feels hollow. For travelers, the biggest shock is how similar the two countries feel in 2025. Both beautiful, both welcoming, both struggling. Walk through Bangkok's once chaotic nightlife streets, and you notice the change instantly. The energy remains, but the foot traffic that sustained entire districts has softened. In Ho Chi Minh City, the same pattern appears. A nightlife that once felt unstoppable now flickers between busy weekends and surprisingly quiet weekdays. Western tourists describe an emotional shift more than a visual one. The warmth they once felt in both countries now competes with rising tension, higher costs, and communities facing unseen pressure. Local business owners in Thailand admit that the downturn feels sharper than they expected. Many invested heavily during the boom years, confident the crowds would never stop. Vietnamese locals share the same sentiment, reflecting on how quickly the energy faded. What was once a bright momentum now feels like a long exhale. Phuket and Phu Quoc tell nearly identical stories. Massive investments built during the boom now sitting half-used. The emptiness feels as visible as the surrounding beauty. Thailand's once crowded night markets in Chiang Mai now operate at half their usual intensity. Vendors still smile, but many quietly mention declining foot traffic. In Da Nang, the My Khe beachfront area tells the same truth. Restaurants wait longer between guests, and the gentle hum of tourism has softened into a tranquil quiet. Both countries face a major challenge: value perception. What once made Thailand and Vietnam unbeatable, price, access, and emotional ease, has shifted beneath the surface. Travelers now compare their costs to alternatives like Malaysia or the Philippines. And increasingly, Southeast Asia's once cheapest destinations no longer feel cheap. The emotional impact of rising costs is stronger than most governments realize. When travelers feel they're not getting the same value, they hesitate to return. Flight connectivity worsens the situation for both countries. Thailand faces route cuts from Europe, while Vietnam struggles with fewer direct Western flights and unpredictable schedules. Convenience has become one of the most powerful decision-makers in modern travel. And when the journey becomes longer and pricier, the destination becomes less appealing. But the most surprising similarity between the two is how social media shapes the narrative. The online world still paints Thailand and Vietnam as vibrant, buzzing, and full of life. Travelers arrive expecting intensity, crowds, chaos, energy. Yet many instead find calm, quiet, and a tone that feels far more subdued than the hype. This mismatch creates confusion rather than anger. People simply wonder why their experience feels so different from what they expected. And confused travelers rarely become repeat visitors. Both Thailand and Vietnam relied heavily on repeat tourism, and that pipeline is now evaporating. Communities built around tourism feel the pressure deeply. In Thailand, taxi drivers, massage shops, and small hotels navigate shrinking incomes. In Vietnam, homestays, local guides, and night markets face the same challenge. The emotional strain becomes part of the atmosphere visitors sense subconsciously. Despite the downturn, both countries remain spectacular. The problem isn't beauty. It's a rapidly shifting world where travelers demand authenticity and emotional connection. Both Thailand and Vietnam are beginning to realize that modern travelers want more than scenery. They want meaning, warmth, and experiences that feel personal rather than packaged for mass tourism. Thailand is wrestling with this transition more visibly because its decades-long formula is now under pressure. Travelers can feel when a destination relies too heavily on old habits, and in 2025, Thailand's vulnerabilities are showing. Vietnam faces the same shift, but with its own unique challenges. The country grew so quickly that it didn't fully develop the emotional infrastructure needed to keep travelers feeling connected. In Thailand, many younger visitors say the magic feels harder to access in 2025. The country still captivates, but the effortless charm that once defined it now competes with rising costs and changing local attitudes. Vietnam's visitors describe a different kind of emotional disconnect. They are blown away by the landscapes and food, but sometimes feel unsure of how to connect with the deeper cultural richness beneath the surface. Both nations are discovering that global tourism has entered a new era. Travelers today prioritize authenticity, emotional resonance, and value over hype, photos, and reputation. This new generation wants experiences that feel grounded in real life. They want human connection, meaningful cultural exchange, and presence instead of overstimulation. Thailand still has emotional depth waiting beneath the surface for anyone patient enough to find it. Local communities remain gentle, warm, and generous, even as they navigate difficult economic realities. Vietnam's emotional depth is shaped by history, struggle, and extraordinary hospitality. But as modernization accelerated, some of that warmth became buried behind rapid expansion and curated experiences. The downturn in both countries exposes a shared weakness, the belief that tourism momentum is permanent. The crowds of the 2010s created a sense of invincibility that 2025 has challenged. Instead of a collapse, what we see now is a recalibration. It's the moment when hype-driven travel meets the hard reality of rising costs and shifting traveler psychology. Phuket and Da Nang show this transformation with striking clarity. These two beachfront cities once felt like two ends of the same electric cord, but now both feel unplugged. Their wide beach roads and modern promenades were designed for endless foot traffic. But in 2025, those roads carry fewer footsteps and more unspoken questions about the sustainability of rapid tourism development. Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City show the shift in their nightlife. These cities once pulsed with constant movement, but now the rhythm feels slower, steadier, and noticeably less chaotic. Travelers describe nights that feel quieter yet more reflective. They come expecting non-stop action, but find pockets of calm that change their entire perception of the city. This emotional shift shapes how people talk about their journeys. Instead of stories about non-stop adventure, travelers speak about silence, contemplation, and unexpected pockets of emptiness. For some, this becomes a positive discovery, a more peaceful human version of Southeast Asia. But for others, it carries a sense of melancholy that affects their desire to return. The tourism infrastructures of both countries are built around volume. Entire industries depend on steady waves of travelers spending money throughout the day and night. When foot traffic softens, the emotional strain becomes part of the atmosphere. Travelers may not see the financial pressure, but they feel the tension behind every business conversation and every hopeful smile. Thailand must now rethink who it wants to be in the next era of travel. Does it double down on mass tourism, or embrace a more premium, emotionally richer model that connects more deeply with Western travelers? Vietnam faces a parallel decision. It must decide whether to continue racing toward modernity or slow down enough to protect the cultural qualities that made travelers fall in love with it in the first place. Both nations still hold every advantage a traveler could dream of. They offer world-class landscapes, rich history, unforgettable food, and communities with incredible resilience. But beauty alone is no longer enough in the post-pandemic travel era. Travelers want authenticity wrapped in comfort, adventure wrapped in emotion, and experience wrapped in meaning. The travel crisis of 2025 is not the end. It is a mirror. It reflects where each country's tourism identity drifted away from what travelers cherish most. It also highlights where the greatest opportunities now lie. The world is craving places that feel honest, welcoming, soulful, and emotionally grounding. As travelers move through Thailand and Vietnam in 2025, they encounter destinations in transition rather than decline. They feel the quiet before reinvention more than the signs of collapse. This reset phase is uncomfortable for locals but revealing for visitors. It shows what remains unbreakable, what needs rebuilding, and what must be rediscovered. Thailand and Vietnam both stand at a crossroads with remarkably similar questions. How do they want the world to feel when they step into their streets, beaches, temples, and markets? The destinations that thrive in the next decade will be the ones that offer emotional truth rather than curated images. Southeast Asia has always excelled at this. It just needs to find its way back to it. In the years ahead, Thailand may reconnect with its spiritual core, and Vietnam may rediscover the power of its cultural soul. These aren't small shifts. They are the beginnings of major transformations. For now, the nightlife is softer, the markets are quieter, and the beaches echo with more wind than people. But beneath that silence lies a profound truth. Authenticity always outlasts hype, and soul always outlives trends. Thailand and Vietnam are not losing their magic. They are learning how to evolve it. And in that evolution lies the beginning of a new chapter, one built on emotion, connection, and the deeper beauty that made the world fall in love with Southeast Asia in the first place.